Think Big, Think Rich, written and published by Rich Audiobooks. Small thinking keeps you safe, but it never makes you rich. Think Big, Think Rich is a call to stretch your mind beyond limitations, to imagine boldly, act fearlessly, and claim the abundance that was always meant for you. Wealth doesn't begin in your wallet, it begins in your thoughts. What if your next level isn't about working harder, but about thinking bigger? The rich don't just have more money, they have a different mindset, a wider lens, a deeper belief in what's possible. This book is your permission slip to stop playing small and start building a life that matches your true capacity. Because when your thinking expands, so does your reality. And the richest lives always start with the biggest thoughts. Lesson 1. Small thinking blocks big money. The greatest obstacle between you and substantial wealth isn't the economy, your background, or your current circumstances. It's the size of your thinking. Every day, millions of people wake up and unconsciously place artificial limits on their financial potential, operating within invisible boundaries they've drawn for themselves. These self-imposed limitations act like invisible prison walls, keeping abundance at bay while maintaining a familiar but restricted financial existence. Consider how often you've automatically dismissed opportunities because they seemed too big or not for people like me. These reflexive responses reveal deep-seated beliefs about money and success that may have been programmed into your consciousness since childhood. Perhaps you grew up hearing phrases like, money doesn't grow on trees, or rich people are greedy. These early messages create a mental framework that subtly influences every financial decision you make, often leading you to choose the safer, smaller option rather than reaching for transformative possibilities. The mathematics of wealth creation are unforgiving to small thinking. When you limit yourself to modest goals and incremental improvements, you automatically exclude yourself from exponential growth opportunities. It's like trying to fill an Olympic-sized swimming pool with a teaspoon. The tool you're using simply isn't matched to the scale of what's possible. Your thinking becomes the teaspoon that prevents you from accessing the fire hose of abundance that's available to those who dare to think bigger. Small thinking manifests in countless daily choices that may seem insignificant, but compound over time. It shows up when you negotiate your salary and ask for a 5% raise instead of exploring how to double your income. It appears when you set business goals that feel realistic rather than transformative. It emerges when you choose to save small amounts rather than investing in opportunities that could multiply your wealth. Each of these decisions reinforces a pattern of playing small that becomes increasingly difficult to break. The most insidious aspect of small thinking is how reasonable it appears. It disguises itself as prudence, practicality, and common sense. But what seems prudent often serves as a sophisticated form of self-sabotage, keeping you safely within the confines of mediocrity, while the truly wealthy operate in an entirely different paradigm. They understand that big money flows toward big thinking, bold actions, and expansive visions. Breaking free from small thinking requires a fundamental shift in how you process financial information and opportunities. Instead of asking, can I afford this? Successful wealth builders ask, how can I afford this? Rather than wondering if something is possible, they assume it is and focus their energy on figuring out the path forward. This shift from limitation and possibility thinking opens doors that remain invisible to those trapped in small thinking patterns. Your financial reality will always align with the size of your thinking. If you believe a six-figure income is a stretch, you'll find evidence to support that belief. If you think becoming a millionaire is for other people, you'll create circumstances that prove you right. The universe has an uncanny way of delivering experiences that match our deepest beliefs about what's possible for us financially. The pathway to greater wealth begins with identifying and challenging these limiting thought patterns. Start noticing when you automatically downsize your dreams or talk yourself out of pursuing bigger opportunities. Pay attention to the language you use around money and success. Listen for the subtle ways you might be programming yourself for financial mediocrity rather than abundance. This awareness is the first step in dismantling the mental barriers that have been blocking your path to greater wealth. Your mind is like a thermostat that's been set to maintain a certain level of financial comfort. Until you adjust this setting, no amount of external opportunity can override your internal programming. The good news is that this thermostat can be reset. As you begin to expand your thinking, you'll notice new opportunities appearing, creative solutions emerging, and resources aligning to support your larger vision. The world of wealth is waiting for you to think big enough to claim it. Lesson 2. Expand your vision board. Vision boards have become somewhat of a cliché in personal development circles, but there's a profound reason why successful people consistently use visualization techniques. They work. However, the key lies not in creating simple collages of luxury cars and beach houses, but in developing a sophisticated, multidimensional approach to visualizing wealth that engages all your senses and emotions. True wealth visualization begins with understanding that money is merely a symbol for something deeper: freedom, impact, security, or legacy. When you create your wealth vision, start by exploring what money genuinely means to you. Does it represent the ability to provide world-class education for your children? Is it about funding revolutionary scientific research? Or perhaps it's about creating sustainable housing solutions for communities in need? This emotional foundation gives your financial goals the gravity they need to manifest. Your vision board should reflect not just end results, but the entire ecosystem of wealth. Include images and symbols that represent the kind of person you're becoming, your growing business acumen, leadership qualities, and the value you provide to others. Add representations of the networks you're building, the knowledge you're acquiring, and the innovations you're creating. This comprehensive approach programs your brain to recognize and create wealth-building opportunities in multiple dimensions. The most powerful vision boards incorporate what might be called wealth triggers, specific elements that activate your wealth consciousness throughout the day. These might include powerful words that resonate with your financial goals, symbols of abundance from nature, or images of people you admire for their wealth creation abilities. The key is to choose elements that spark an immediate emotional response and remind you of your larger wealth purpose. Consider creating a digital vision board alongside your physical one. In our increasingly digital world, having wealth imagery on your phone, computer, and tablet ensures constant exposure to your financial vision. Use technology to your advantage by creating rotating screensavers of your wealth goals, setting reminder notifications with empowering wealth affirmations, and maintaining a digital folder of inspiring success stories and wealth-building strategies. The most overlooked aspect of vision boarding is the integration of timeline elements. Your wealth vision should include short-term victories, medium-range milestones, and long-term legacy achievements. This temporal dimension helps your brain create a realistic pathway to wealth while maintaining the excitement of progressive accomplishment. It transforms your vision board from a wish list into a strategic wealth-building tool. Your vision board should evolve as you do. As you achieve certain financial milestones, replace those images with more ambitious ones. If your wealth goals shift or expand, update your board to reflect these changes. This dynamic approach keeps your wealth vision fresh and challenging, preventing the stagnation that comes from looking at the same images month after month. Your vision board is not just a personal tool, it can be a powerful family or team resource. Involve your children in creating wealth visions for their future. Share your board with business partners to align financial goals. Use it in team meetings to inspire collective wealth-building efforts. This collaborative approach amplifies the power of visualization and creates a supportive environment for wealth manifestation. The most effective vision boards don't just showcase material wealth, they illustrate the positive impact that money enables. Include images of philanthropic projects you'll fund, communities you'll help transform, and innovations you'll support. This connection between personal wealth and social good creates a compelling reason for your brain to pursue financial abundance, moving beyond simple materialism to purposeful prosperity. Lesson 3. Think in millions, not hundreds. Most people unconsciously limit their financial thinking to the scope of their current reality. They deliberate extensively over $10 or $20 purchases while never considering million-dollar opportunities. This mental framework creates a self-fulfilling prophecy where small thinking perpetuates small results. The truth is, thinking in millions isn't about being unrealistic. It's about aligning your mind with the actual mathematics of wealth creation. When you begin calculating in millions, your entire decision-making process transforms. A $100,000 0-cents investment opportunity that seemed enormous suddenly becomes a reasonable stepping stone. The mental leap from hundreds to millions isn't just about adding zeros, it's about fundamentally shifting how you evaluate time, resources, and opportunity. Consider how differently you'd approach your business strategy if you were planning for $5 million, 0 cents in revenue, instead of $500,000, 0 cents. Your hiring decisions, marketing investments, and growth strategies would all scale accordingly. This million-dollar mindset creates a powerful ripple effect throughout your financial life. You begin to recognize that the same amount of energy often goes into small deals as large ones. The time spent pursuing a $10,000 zero-cents client could be directed toward a $100,000 zero-cents client. The effort required to launch a local business could be applied to building a national brand. When you think in millions, you naturally gravitate toward opportunities with greater leverage and exponential potential. The shift to million-dollar thinking also changes your relationship with time. Instead of focusing on immediate gains, you start considering compound effects and long-term wealth multiplication. A 10% return on $1,000 0 cents yields $100 0 cents. Hardly life-changing, but that same percentage on $1 million 0 cents creates $100,000 0 cents, enough to fund significant opportunities or generate additional passive income streams. This perspective helps you make decisions that might not pay off immediately, but have massive long-term potential. Your network and associations naturally evolve when you think in millions. You begin seeking out people who operate at higher financial levels, not just for potential opportunities, but because their mindset aligns with your expanded vision. These connections often lead to insights and opportunities that would never be visible from a smaller thinking perspective. The conversations shift from cost-cutting to wealth creation, from scarcity to abundance. The practical application of million-dollar thinking requires regular mental exercise. Start by adding a zero to every financial number you encounter. When considering a $50,000 0 cents project, ask yourself how you would approach it if it were $500,000 0 cents. What would change in your strategy? Who would you need on your team? How would you structure the operation? This practice builds your capacity to handle larger numbers comfortably and reveals the artificial limitations in your current thinking. Billion-dollar thinking also transforms your approach to problem solving. When facing a business challenge, instead of asking, "How can I afford this?" ask, "How can this generate millions?" This subtle shift moves you from a position of limitation to one of possibility. It forces your brain to engage with creative solutions and identify opportunities that your previous thinking would have missed. Your daily habits and choices begin to align with this expanded financial vision. You naturally start investing in yourself at a higher level, recognizing that personal development is a crucial lever for wealth creation. The resources you once considered expensive become viewed as necessary investments in your million-dollar journey. Your standards elevate across all areas of life because you understand that wealth creation is holistic. It encompasses your mindset, skills, relationships, and environment. Lesson 4. Go for the seemingly impossible. The most profound wealth transformations often begin with a goal that seems utterly impossible. When Howard Schultz first envisioned putting a Starbucks on every corner, people thought he was delusional. When Elon Musk announced his intention to make electric vehicles mainstream and colonize Mars, the world scoffed. Yet these impossible visions became the very fuel that drove unprecedented success. The human mind has a fascinating relationship with impossible goals. When we set targets that feel safely achievable, we engage only a fraction of our creative and productive capacity. But when we dare to pursue what seems beyond reach, we activate dormant resources, innovative thinking, and levels of determination we didn't know we possessed. This is precisely why pursuing the seemingly impossible is one of the most practical wealth-building strategies you can employ. Consider for a moment your current financial goals. If they don't make you slightly uncomfortable or cause others to raise their eyebrows, they're probably too small. The truly wealthy understand that outrageous goals create outrageous results. When you declare your intention to build a billion-dollar company, acquire 1,000 rental properties, or create a revolutionary product that doesn't yet exist, you begin operating from a different mental framework altogether. This shift in thinking transforms your daily actions. Instead of asking, "How can I make an extra $1,000 this month?" you start asking, "What infrastructure do I need to generate millions?" Instead of seeking a 10% improvement, you pursue 10x growth. These questions lead to fundamentally different strategies, connections, and opportunities. The impossible goal forces you to think beyond conventional methods and existing resources. Your brain is wired to solve problems it's presented with. When you pose an impossible challenge to your mind, it begins working on solutions even while you sleep. You'll start noticing relevant opportunities, meeting the right people, and discovering resources you previously overlooked. This isn't mystical thinking, it's your reticular activating system at work, filtering reality through the lens of your audacious goal. Fear and doubt will inevitably arise when pursuing seemingly impossible goals. Welcome them as natural companions on your journey to extraordinary wealth. These emotions signal that you're pushing beyond your comfort zone, which is exactly where exponential growth occurs. The key is to acknowledge these feelings while continuing to take bold action toward your target. Start by identifying your impossible goal. Make it specific and measurable, but don't worry about knowing how you'll achieve it. Perhaps it's building a $100 million zero-cent business in an emerging industry, creating a revolutionary investment platform, or generating passive income that exceeds your current active income by tenfold. Write it down, speak it aloud, and most importantly, begin taking action as if its achievement is inevitable. Break down your impossible goal into major milestones, but maintain flexibility in how you'll reach them. The path to extraordinary achievement rarely follows a linear plan. Be willing to pivot, adapt, and seize unexpected opportunities. Thomas Edison's impossible goal of creating the light bulb resulted in 1,000 unsuccessful attempts before success. Each failure was actually a necessary step toward the breakthrough. Surround yourself with others who are pursuing their own impossible goals. Their energy and determination will fuel yours, and the collective wisdom of ambitious minds creates a powerful environment for growth. Seek out mentors who have already achieved what you consider impossible. Their journey will help normalize the extraordinary in your mind. The pursuit of seemingly impossible goals not only leads to greater financial results, but also transforms you in the process. You'll develop capabilities, confidence, and connections that permanently expand your capacity for wealth creation. The impossible becomes probable, then inevitable as you grow into the person capable of achieving it. Your wealth journey begins with daring to declare and pursue what others consider impossible. Lesson 5. Say yes to dreams that scare you. Fear and financial breakthroughs exist on opposite sides of the same coin. When you encounter a dream that makes your heart race and your palms sweat, you've likely stumbled upon your next significant wealth opportunity. These moments of terror often signal the presence of transformative potential, yet most people interpret them as warning signs to retreat. The wealthiest people in history share a common trait. They move toward their fears rather than away from them. They recognize that the magnitude of fear often correlates directly with the size of the potential reward. When Jeff Bezos left his stable Wall Street job to sell books online from his garage, the decision terrified him. When Sarah Blakely invested her life savings to develop Spanx, she trembled at the possibility of failure. These entrepreneurs didn't feel less afraid than others. They simply understood that their fears were pointing them toward their greatest opportunities. Your financial fears carry valuable intelligence about your next breakthrough. When you feel afraid of taking on that ambitious project, launching that innovative business, or making that significant investment, pause and examine the fear closely. Is it telling you to protect yourself from genuine danger, or is it highlighting an opportunity that could catapult you to your next level of wealth? Learning to distinguish between protective fear and growth fear becomes crucial in your wealth journey. The most substantial financial opportunities often come disguised as decisions that feel too big, too risky, or too far outside your comfort zone. Perhaps it's the chance to partner with someone whose success intimidates you, or an investment that requires you to stretch beyond your current financial capacity. These moments demand a new decision-making framework, one that uses fear as a compass rather than a barrier. Building a personal support system becomes essential when saying yes to scary dreams. This isn't about reckless risk-taking. It's about creating a network of advisors, mentors, and peers who can help you evaluate opportunities objectively and support you through the tension of growth. When Richard Branson launched Virgin Atlantic, he protected his downside by negotiating a deal to sell his aircraft back to Boeing if the venture failed. Smart fear management involves both courage and strategy. The stories of wealth creation often read like chronicles of frightening decisions. Consider the tech entrepreneurs who quit prestigious universities to pursue their startups, or the investors who backed unproven technologies when others saw only risk. These people didn't possess special powers. They simply developed the capacity to act despite their fears, understanding that comfort and exponential wealth rarely coexist. Your relationship with frightening opportunities directly impacts your wealth potential. Each time you say yes to a scary dream, you expand your capacity for bigger opportunities. The entrepreneur who terrified herself by hiring her first employee soon finds herself confidently managing hundreds. The investor who nervously placed his first significant stake soon develops the judgment to manage a substantial portfolio. The practice of embracing scary dreams requires regular exercise. Start with smaller, frightening decisions and gradually build your courage muscle. Maybe it's reaching out to that high-level contact you've been avoiding, or finally presenting your business idea to potential investors. Each yes to fear envires your brain's relationship with risk and reward. Both lives on the other side of comfortable. The dreams that scare you contain the seeds of your financial transformation. When you feel that familiar constriction of fear around a significant opportunity, recognize it as an invitation to grow rather than a signal to retreat. Your next level of wealth is waiting beyond the boundary of your current comfort zone, accessible only through your willingness to say yes when everything inside you wants to say no. Lesson 6. Stretch your wealth container. Your financial life operates within an invisible container, a psychological vessel that determines how much wealth you can comfortably hold. Like a cup that overflows when filled beyond its capacity, many people unconsciously spill out or sabotage wealth when it exceeds their container's size. This phenomenon explains why lottery winners often lose their fortunes and why sudden wealth can create such discomfort that people unconsciously work to return to their familiar financial state. Your wealth container was shaped by early experiences, family patterns, and societal programming. Perhaps you grew up hearing that money was scarce, that wealthy people were unethical, or that you should be satisfied with enough. These messages created the walls of your current financial vessel. The good news is that this container is not fixed. It can be systematically expanded through conscious awareness and deliberate practice. The first sign of a constrained wealth container appears in your reactions to financial opportunities. Do you feel anxiety when considering investments above a certain amount? Do you quickly dismiss possibilities that involve larger sums? Does the idea of earning significantly more trigger thoughts of, "Who am I to deserve that?" These responses signal you've hit the edges of your container. Rather than viewing these reactions as permanent limitations, recognize them as growing edges, places where your container needs stretching. Expanding your wealth container requires deliberate exposure to larger numbers and bigger financial concepts. Start reading about billion-dollar businesses instead of small enterprises. Study the biographies of major wealth creators. Spend time in environments where larger sums are discussed casually. Initially, this exposure may feel uncomfortable or even fraudulent, as if you're pretending to be something you're not. This discomfort is not only normal but necessary for growth. Physical environment plays a crucial role in container expansion. Your surroundings should challenge rather than reinforce your current financial scale. Visit high-end stores, luxury car showrooms, and open houses in expensive neighborhoods, not to purchase, but to normalize being in the presence of higher-value items. Notice your emotional responses without judgment. Each exposure helps rewire your nervous system's relationship with wealth. Practical actions accelerate container growth. Start working with larger numbers in your daily life. If you typically think in hundreds, practice making plans in thousands. If you think in thousands, stretch to millions. Write checks for imaginary large purchases. Create sample investment portfolios with substantial sums. Play with numbers that make you slightly uncomfortable. This regular practice builds new neural pathways that support expanded financial capacity. Relationships dramatically influence your wealth container. Assess whether your current social circle expands or constrains your financial vision. Seek out conversations with people operating at higher financial levels. Notice how they think about and handle money. Their comfort with larger sums will naturally influence your own capacity. This doesn't mean abandoning existing relationships, but rather intentionally adding connections that stretch your financial comfort zone. Your wealth container also expands through giving. Counterintuitively, practicing generosity at progressively larger levels helps your psyche adjust to handling bigger sums. Start with amounts that feel significant but manageable, then gradually increase. Whether through charitable donations, investments in others, or direct support to causes you care about, giving stretches your capacity to work with wealth while reinforcing the abundance mindset necessary for container growth. Expanding your wealth container is not about greed or accumulation for its own sake. It's about developing the capacity to handle greater resources so you can create more value, solve bigger problems, and generate positive impact at scale. As your container grows, you'll find yourself naturally attracting and maintaining higher levels of wealth, not because you're chasing money, but because you've developed the internal capacity to hold it. Lesson 7. Think in legacy, not lack. The greatest wealth builders throughout history share one fundamental characteristic. They think beyond their own lifetime. While most people focus on immediate financial gains or meeting next month's expenses, true wealth emerges when you extend your vision across generations. Legacy thinking transforms how you approach every financial decision, pushing you to create structures and systems that outlast your physical presence. When you shift from a mindset of lack to legacy, your entire relationship with money evolves. You stop asking, "How can I get by?" and begin asking, "What can I build that will serve generations to come?" This fundamental shift changes everything, from how you invest, to the businesses you create, to the way you think about assets and appreciation. Legacy thinking naturally expands your timeline, allowing you to make decisions that may not pay off for decades, but will create massive value over time. Consider the great family dynasties, the Rothschilds, the Rockefellers, the Morgans. They didn't build their empires thinking about next quarter's profits. They constructed financial architectures designed to compound wealth across centuries. While you may not aspire to build a banking empire, the principle remains the same. True wealth creation requires thinking beyond your own needs and immediate gratification. Legacy thinking also transforms your relationship with risk and opportunity. When you're focused only on your own financial security, you tend to play it safe. But when you're building for future generations, you become willing to plant trees whose shade you'll never sit under. This longer time horizon allows you to make bold moves and strategic investments that those focused on immediate returns would never consider. This shift in perspective affects even your daily financial choices. Whether you're considering a business investment, purchasing property, or choosing between spending and saving, asking, "How will this impact my family's wealth 3 generations from now?" leads to radically different decisions than, "What do I want right now?" Legacy thinking naturally guides you toward assets that appreciate, businesses that can be passed down, and investments that compound over time. The mindset of legacy also pushes you to create systems and structures that can operate without your presence. This might mean building businesses with strong management teams, creating trusts and legal entities that protect and grow wealth, or developing investment portfolios that generate passive income for decades. The focus shifts from earning to building, from consuming to creating, from taking to establishing. Perhaps most importantly, thinking in terms of legacy forces you to confront and overcome the scarcity mindset that keeps so many people financially stuck. When you're focused on lack, you make decisions from fear. When you're focused on legacy, you make decisions from vision. This subtle but crucial difference determines whether you build lasting wealth or simply chase money. Legacy thinking also encompasses the non-financial aspects of wealth creation. It pushes you to consider what values, principles, and wisdom you'll pass along with the material assets. The truly wealthy understand that financial education, strong work ethic, and sound judgment are as important to preserve as the monetary wealth itself. This holistic approach to legacy building creates not just rich people, but prosperous families and enduring impact. The shift from lack to legacy requires rewiring deep mental patterns about money, success, and purpose. It demands that you think bigger than your own lifespan and create value that extends far beyond your immediate circle. But this expanded perspective is exactly what separates those who build lasting wealth from those who merely dream about it. Your wealth journey transforms when you stop thinking about surviving today and start thinking about thriving across generations. Lesson 8. Let possibility lead. The greatest obstacle between you and extraordinary wealth isn't your circumstances, connections, or capital. It's your relationship with possibility. Most people approach wealth creation with a rigid mindset, convinced there are only a handful of acceptable paths to financial abundance. They create detailed plans and become emotionally attached to specific outcomes, inadvertently closing themselves off from unexpected opportunities and innovative solutions. True wealth consciousness requires a fundamental shift from controlling outcomes to embracing possibilities. When you release your grip on exactly how money must come to you, you open yourself to channels of abundance you couldn't have imagined. This isn't about abandoning strategic thinking or practical action. It's about maintaining an expanded state of awareness that allows you to recognize and receive wealth through multiple avenues. Consider how many successful entrepreneurs stumbled upon their greatest breakthroughs while pursuing something entirely different. The founder of Slack wasn't trying to create a revolutionary communication platform. He was developing a video game that failed. PayPal wasn't conceived as a payment processing giant. It evolved from a different initial vision. These massive successes emerged because their creators remained open to possibility rather than clutching their original plans. Your wealth journey demands both focused intention and flexible adaptation. Think of yourself as a wealth antenna, continuously scanning for opportunities while maintaining clear financial objectives. This dual approach allows you to pursue specific goals while remaining receptive to unexpected paths to prosperity. The key is developing comfort with uncertainty while maintaining unwavering faith in your ultimate financial evolution. Possibility thinking requires regular practice. Start each day by asking yourself, what if everything I believe about creating wealth is limited? What if there are easier, more enjoyable paths to abundance that I haven't considered? These questions help dissolve rigid thinking patterns and create space for innovative solutions to emerge. Pay attention to subtle nudges, seemingly random connections, and opportunities that don't fit your preconceived notions of how wealth should arrive. Financial synchronicity occurs when you align with possibility rather than probability. While others base their actions solely on statistical likelihood, possibility thinkers position themselves for exponential outcomes. They understand that breakthrough wealth often arrives through unexpected combinations of ideas, people, and opportunities. Your job is to remain alert and responsive to these convergences while maintaining momentum toward your declared financial targets. The art of letting possibility lead involves a delicate balance between active creation and receptive allowing. Too much forcing closes doors. Too much waiting creates stagnation. The sweet spot lies in maintaining clear financial intentions while staying open to multiple paths of manifestation. This approach allows you to recognize and seize opportunities that others miss because they're too attached to their predetermined routes to wealth. Your wealth potential expands dramatically when you stop insisting on knowing every step of the journey. Instead of demanding certainty, cultivate curiosity about the various ways abundance might flow into your life. This shift from rigid planning to possibility thinking creates space for quantum leaps in your financial reality. It allows you to navigate toward wealth with both purpose and flexibility, ready to capitalize on opportunities that exceed your current imagination. Transform your relationship with uncertainty by viewing it as a field of infinite potential rather than a source of anxiety. Every moment of not knowing exactly how your wealth will manifest is an opportunity for something greater than your current vision to emerge. This perspective keeps you alert and responsive to the wealth-building opportunities constantly surrounding you, ready to act decisively when alignment appears. Lesson 9. Raise the bar on every level. The pursuit of extraordinary wealth demands more than just raising financial targets. It requires elevating standards across every dimension of life. When you commit to excellence in all areas, money naturally flows toward your expanded capacity to receive and maintain it. This universal upgrade creates a magnetic force that attracts resources, opportunities, and abundance. Start by examining your current standards in seemingly unrelated areas: your physical environment, daily habits, relationships, health practices, and even the media you consume. Each aspect either reinforces mediocrity or signals to your subconscious mind that you're worthy of more. That cluttered desk, those postponed decisions, the toxic relationships you're tolerating, they all send powerful messages about what you're willing to accept in life, including financially. When you raise standards in one area, it creates a positive ripple effect across all others. Upgrading your wardrobe shifts how others perceive and interact with you professionally. Enhancing your vocabulary and communication skills opens doors to higher-level opportunities. Improving your physical fitness builds the stamina and confidence needed for ambitious undertakings. Each elevation compounds, creating an upward spiral of excellence that naturally attracts greater wealth. Consider your social circle. Are you surrounding yourself with people who challenge you to grow, or those who reinforce comfortable limitations? Wealthy people consistently seek out relationships that stretch their thinking and expose them to new possibilities. They join masterminds, attend high-level conferences, and cultivate connections with those already operating at their desired level of success. Your intellectual standards deserve equal attention. The wealthy maintain rigorous learning habits, consuming content that expands their understanding of markets, innovation, and human potential. They invest significantly in their education, seeking out specialized knowledge that gives them unique advantages. This commitment to continuous growth ensures they stay ahead of trends and spot opportunities others miss. Time management represents another crucial standard to elevate. Wealthy people guard their time fiercely, understanding that how they spend each hour directly impacts their earning potential. They delegate low-value tasks, optimize their daily schedules, and ensure their energy goes toward activities that generate the highest return on investment. Physical environments powerfully influence performance and attraction of wealth. Upgrade your workspace, home, and personal presentation to reflect the success level you're targeting. This isn't about shallow materialism. It's about creating surroundings that remind you of your worth and potential while signaling to others that you operate at a premium level. Financial standards extend beyond just income goals. Examine your standards for investments, business operations, client selection, and money management. Are you still operating with outdated systems that served you at a lower income level? Have you upgraded your financial team to include top-tier advisors who can guide larger wealth decisions? Every aspect of your money management should reflect where you're going, not where you've been. The most successful people maintain impeccable standards for their word and integrity. They show up fully prepared, deliver beyond expectations, and honor their commitments without exception. This reliability creates trust, which opens doors to bigger opportunities and partnerships. When you become known as someone who consistently operates at the highest level, wealth naturally follows. Raising standards isn't a one-time event. It's an ongoing process of refinement and elevation. Each new level of success requires another upgrade across all areas of life. The wealthy embrace this continuous evolution, knowing that maintaining excellence in every domain creates an unstoppable momentum toward even greater abundance. Your wealth will never exceed your personal standards, so make excellence your new normal in everything you do. Lesson 10. Wealth is waiting for your boldness. The universe responds to boldness with abundance. This fundamental truth has shaped the trajectory of every great fortune ever built. Yet most people approach wealth creation with timidity and hesitation. The bold moves that create massive wealth aren't just financial decisions. They're declarations to the world about who you are and what you deserve. Your relationship with boldness directly impacts your relationship with wealth. When you examine the lives of self-made millionaires and billionaires, you'll notice a common thread. They made moves that others considered too risky, too ambitious, or too unconventional. They didn't wait for perfect conditions or universal approval. They acted with conviction when others hesitated, seeing opportunities where others saw obstacles. The wealth you desire isn't hiding. It's waiting for you to be bold enough to claim it. This means making the calls you've been avoiding, presenting the proposals you've been sitting on, and asking for the prices that reflect your true value. Boldness in business isn't about recklessness. It's about having the courage to act on your carefully considered convictions, even when conventional wisdom suggests playing it safe. Your boldness muscle grows stronger with each courageous action. Start with smaller acts of financial courage. Negotiate that raise, double your rates, or make that investment you've been analyzing for months. Each bold move creates momentum, building your confidence for increasingly ambitious actions. The wealth you attract grows in proportion to your willingness to take bold, calculated risks. The most significant barrier between you and greater wealth isn't external. It's the inner voice that whispers, "Play it safe," when opportunity knocks. Bold wealth creators understand that safety is often an illusion. In a rapidly changing world, playing it safe can be the riskiest strategy of all. The truly secure position is to build your capacity for bold action, ensuring you can seize opportunities when they appear. Boldness in wealth creation also means being willing to stand out. Many people stay financially stuck because they fear the attention and scrutiny that comes with success. They dim their light to make others comfortable, unconsciously choosing mediocrity over magnitude. Your willingness to be visible, to be criticized, and to be different is directly proportional to your capacity for wealth. The marketplace rewards bold solutions to significant problems. Small solutions to small problems generate small rewards. When you approach your business or career with boldness, you naturally think bigger, solve bigger problems, and create bigger value. This expanded value creation inevitably leads to expanded wealth creation. Consider boldness your wealth accelerator. While others are inching forward with incremental improvements, Bold action can help you leap ahead years or even decades in your wealth journey. This might mean bold investments, bold business moves, or bold career changes. The key is matching your bold vision with equally bold action. The wealth you seek exists in the space beyond your comfort zone. It's waiting in the conversations you're afraid to have, the proposals you're hesitant to make, and the opportunities you're scared to seize. Your boldness is the bridge between where you are and where you want to be financially. Every day presents new opportunities to choose boldness over comfort, expansion over contraction, and growth over safety. Wealth responds to certainty and conviction. When you move through the world with bold certainty about your value and vision, you naturally attract bigger opportunities and bigger rewards. The universe doesn't reward wishful thinking. It rewards bold action backed by clear intention and unwavering commitment. Your next level of wealth is waiting for your next level of boldness.